Alright, this is game 3 of week 3, and mono blue. Okay, the normal deal is we need ramp, but it's a bit awkward missing the white source. Going first also means if we don't draw a land specifically on turn 2, we're a bit stinted, because we're going to be dropping both on turn 1. That being said, still pretty good. We really struggle if we miss 2 land drops in a row. I think I'm willing to take those odds. And it if we draw a mana dork instead, I mean it's not the end of the world, but it's more outs to a faster Ajani. Okay, that is another land, which is excellent because now we do have that Ajani next turn. So hopefully the Grazer has reach, which will be protection from attacks, which is also rather helpful. Yeah, so we do miss that land drop, but at this point, it doesn't matter. We have the mana to do this. If we see a land on top, we want to keep it, but it is a green source. And if it's a white source or a playable card, it's better. So there's not much that's actually going to be worse than a forest in our deck. Even though we do want to be on the way to casting all the cards in our hand. Paying 3 life for the untapped land suggests they're potentially missing land drops. Here, I'll make the obvious block. See if we're lucky to get any proliferation, and we do. Maybe a stifle could destroy us here, but I'm not going to play around it. Okay. Now we just need to cast our hand, which might be difficult, but as soon as we get a white source, we can go Mentor of the Meek into Esper Sentinel and draw a card. That will be 2 out of 5 cards we need to cast. Providing there is an interaction. Yeah, opponent setting up. Humiliation is very interesting, but unfortunately it is white mana. Okay. I think I should blow up or destroy Jocab here before they can get the mana to flip it. This is a very sneaky card. If you don't know this one, it can sacrifice itself and counter an instant or sorcery. Ah, okay. But it's definitely one to watch out for. Sure. So they're missing their 5th land. So they're missing the 6 mana they need to flip this. And they pass with everything open. Plains is exactly what we were looking for. We'll lead with Mentor of the Meek here. If they counter it, that's fine. Our game plan is really just trying to cast as many spells as we can, Planeswalker and creature specifically. Dispute is okay. We were just looking to draw a card off Mentor of the Meek from Esper Sentinel entering the battlefield, so... Unfortunately, this is a rather slow game plan, at least with the hand we have. If we have any other way of playing a bunch of cheap creatures, obviously that would be fantastic. But in the very, very least, we can be looking at casting Ajani for 5 mana. That counts, and then this Ajani, and then something else. And it doesn't matter if things get countered because it's triggers on cast. So here I'll try and cast Vivian Reed. This will put more poison counters on them no matter what they have. Provided Stifle will save them once, but that's not really a big deal. Really, they have to win very quickly. Blue decks tend to not win quickly unless they're tempo decks. We could probably have attacked with Esper Sentinel. But just having it sit back makes it awkward for them to cast interactive spells. Generally going to be instants and sorceries, especially for blue. It's not going to be very many artifacts and enchantments they're going to be using. Okay. So they have access to a selected 4 cards. Unless it's a bunch of extra turns, we should be fine. Hullbreaker Horror is not that impressive here, and in fact they don't want to return cards to my hand. Because when I cast them, they're going to put poison counters on them. And 2 more win the game, so... Okay, well that's GG, I think. But I think in this position, like if I've got the ultimate off, it's GG no matter what. Alright, that's game 1. And we are missing ramp, but we have the interactive Skyclave apparition, which is just extremely strong against commanders that are CMC4 or less, because it just exiles them. There's no way you can get the secondary value of if it leaves the battlefield, you get the token, because if you've done that, you've sacrificed the right to ever cast your commander again. So it's just 3 mana kill a creature, which is just very nice. Strict upgrade over there's a black card that does the same thing, and I've forgotten the name of it, but it's 4 mana and destroy target creature. Here we also have the option of taking away the Midnight Clock, which could be a strong consideration here. Because the blue deck is going to want use of all their mana, so I think I'm actually going to do that. We also have the Bounty Agent, which we just top decked, which can blow up Jocab before he tries to flip. And even then, after he flips, we can still hit the Is it artifact? Enchantment. We can still hit the enchantment as well with the bounty agent, which is very nice. That's a powerful card. Here I think I'm double spelling. Even though a Ledger Shredder is out, they probably have something like Memory Lapse open or Counterspell. I'll lead with the Druid. Okay. I should go to attacks. Pressure. Now we could have blown up the Ledger Shredder. Oh no, we couldn't. This costs 3. So actually, this is a little more awkward in this deck when your commander's not a creature. This doesn't say legendary permanent. We'll get the discount from Redain though. So if they don't have interaction for the bounty agent, they're hovering over it, so I assume they do. But if they do have interaction and they put down the land to flip Jocab, then we've just got to try and put Ajani up to the ultimate as fast as we can. Aha! That solves that problem. Could be a counterspell. If it is, we're going to cast Ajani behind this. Aha! Okay, well, same thing goes. Okay. And this might turn into a game where we need to win by attacking rather than the ultimate. Simply, if Ajani is going to get countered again, trying to cast him for 8 mana, and then trying to tick all the way up to 6, and then try and cast 5 creature spells is asking a lot for the, the opponent to not have answers, basically, or any action. So if we can get a big fly reach creature out, that might help. Unfortunately, All-Seeing Arbiter does sort of negate the power of a big reach creature at the moment. But at the moment we're blocking Ledger Shredder at least. With, say, the 05 after this creature attacks. Okay. So blocking Ledger Shredder is only bad if they don't, if they have 2 proactive spells at instant speed, and that's just very unlikely for the blue decks. So I'm gonna try save Ren in 7 and just save myself a little bit of life. Renin Steven's still useful for +1 finding the land drops. If we can make land drops, as well as dump down some sort of value engine, we can compete, but but it will be difficult, especially with that. Now we have to deal with Narset before we want to do anything with the Beast Whisperer. And an extra turn. Oof. Okay. It's going to be difficult to beat now. This doesn't say draw, so we can go ahead and do that. We have 2 mana left, so we can Paradise Druid as well. We could play Redain, which makes it awkward for them to... Not really. Doesn't really make it awkward for them to do much. Makes spells cost, what, 2 more? That means Time Walk. For Time Walk they have to tap out. That's actually a strong consideration to play Redain here, and I think I'll do it. But of course we should play the Whisperer first. So we get the card off Redain. We don't get the card off Redain because I didn't attack Narset first. Yeah, this was silly. Also, this means we can't even kill Narset. So, just massive misplay. Massive misplay all around. Okay. Even now, just 2 attacks in the air is lethal. If we don't have any blockers. Oops. Game 3. Hand's great. Mystic means we can get Redain out possibly, and then into Ajani or possibly the Skyclave Apparition. This is a strong start. Or Toski. But Ajani has much more value, especially considering Mono Blue just cannot deal with Ajani after the ultimate. Now even if we miss on the proliferation effect, they have to deal with it this turn or next turn, and that's still going to be very difficult, especially it's the start of the game, right? It's now their turn 3. Oh, and their mana base comes in tap because of Redain. That's a brutal one for the opponent as well. So they have one more chance. I think I much prefer Toski here, because we want to draw cards, and we can save Catilda and Mentor of the Meek for our ultimate. Also can't be countered, which is useful. Okay. Now I was going to attack with both creatures. That would have eaten the Mystic, but not sure why the opponent played that in response. Redain's brutal against just, the snow permanents. Now, there was actually a question I gave to I'm Not Fine with regards to the Lagrella deck, which, if you watch those games, you might have noticed only like 7 of the lands were snow permanents. And I wondered, like, hey, why not just make all of the basic lands snow permanents? And the answer that came back to me was, hey, there's only one card that it matters, but that one card's still a genuine consideration, and when it doesn't hurt to play non-snow permanents in the deck, then you may as well do that. Letters Ultimate Ajani, we lose to any we get got by any stifle effect, like Tail's End or Stifle. Which is unfortunate, but not the end of the world at all. I'm going to try the Skyclave Apparition. And then attack, see what we draw. And play Gatilda. This is another sort of win condition. But against blue, there are some mass bounce effects, which might get us. So that definitely makes that slightly less appealing. We have Hauken, which can destroy Jocab, which I think we'll go for. They probably have some counter magic. We could go to combat first, see what we draw. I like that. Give us more options. We have access to 8 mana. So if this gets countered, of course we have Hauken, but this is revealed information. And in the case that this resolves, I think we actually should be playing God Eternal or Catra into Esper Sentinel. Yep. And now we're not trying to Ultimate Ajani anymore, but we're very clearly getting to that position where we actually just want to take their life total to 0. Take advantage of that fast start. Oh, and they pay for that. Firstly, we have no +1/+1 counter synergy at the moment unless we do resolve Ajani. So I'll try to do that. Okay. Basically, all the creatures that can't tap for mana will give counters and vigilance. And proliferation to increase the power more. And now we'll go to combat. Let's game.